intro. Yep, there you go.
I knew it.
Oh,
Knew something was
rolling.
gonna go wrong.
and don't forget, where's our chat?
Oh, I'll pop into bed.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Nerdbuzzed.
Nerdbuzzed doesn't condone the consumption of alcohol by any persons under the age of 21. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome to Nerdbuzzed, the only podcast. Oh, damn it! The podcast where we talk about all the nerdy stuff we care about and drink a cool frosty brew while we're doing it.
Damn right.
Yeah, I nailed it first try. It's live. It's what it is. Let's get this chat going. All right.
So, you want to introduce everything? You want me to help you out with that at all?
Well, I didn't even get the sheet.
Do I get a co-host? By the way, you're supposed to introduce yourself.
Oh,
and then me. Don't be a dick.
I'm Jack Hughes, and with me as
I'm
always,
your host, Jack Hughes.
I'm your host, Jack Hughes, and with me as always, Marcus Ellinger, and I don't know where he is, but Jeremiah Johnson. Is that
he's
how
always
it goes?
he's always here in our hearts.
He's always here in our hearts. Yeah, something like that. This is a hard job, being the host.
Right now you're doing
I have to
half
be the host
intern, half host,
and the intern. Where's the? There we go. All right, so many things to handle.
all
There's the
right,
chat.
you figuring it out?
Figure
Okay.
it all out.
Okay.
Whoa.
So, tell everybody what we're going to talk about.
Today, we're going to talk about the
We're gonna try to decide.
Fallout 76.
Yeah, should you get Fallout 76? And
It's not an easy question to answer.
which is good because I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of turmoil.
Yeah.
And I've been cracking out on Red Dead, which I've just constantly will not shut up about
We
lately.
know. Yeah.
Right? Every episode we've done this past month has been Red Dead.
has
Red
changed
Dead
my life.
related,
Yeah.
and it totally has.
And I will be soon too.
But when I heard Fallout 76 and Red Dead were coming out, I was obviously going to get Red Dead, but I was a little bit bummed that Fallout was coming out at so close to Red Dead because it kind of meant I had to ignore it. But after everything I've kind of heard a little bit, I'm a little more okay with the decision I made.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are. I mean, the game's what, like $40 for the standard edition on PSN, which is unheard of. It's been like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
maybe.
that's not the best sign.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't think.
that's
That-
not.
That
But
doesn't
I
bode well
almost-
for it.
I don't think. I don't know. I mean, personally, the game probably should have launched at $40, but a $20 price drop in that amount of time and all the controversy, I feel like it's a little exaggerated. At least personally.
Well, but even the fact that you say that makes it kind of ties into one of my biggest concerns. Maybe is the way to say about it, because I think that Fallout has a massive fan base.
Oh yeah.
Right. And people love what Fallout represents. And so because of that, if you're saying like all those people are the people that bought it day one, like they passed up Red Dead and bought Fallout day one for the full $60, and you're already saying it maybe should have came out at $40, right? Which is unfortunately kind of a slap in the face to all these diehard Fallout fans.
I think a lot of it's a weird game. It's really like. At first, I wasn't really sure what it was. I'm still not really sure what it is, but all I know is that I have fun playing it, but I don't think it's quite worth $60. At least, okay, I haven't done nearly, like, all of what the game has to offer. Like, I'm still, like, level 25, 26? I've played the game for, it says 24 hours already, which I'm like, whoa. Like, you can really easily sink a lot of time into it and just have a lot of fun. But there's still a lot I haven't done yet. But at the current rate, it feels like,
Hopefully you haven't done everything already.
Oh God, no. No,
Okay.
like the whole nuke thing and like what that does as kind of end level raid content. It's really interesting, and like going. Like I've heard so many people say, "Oh, the game's super easy. You can just kind of go anywhere and kill everything in one hit." If you go, I want you to look me in the eyes, and go to the southeast part of the map at level 1 and tell me that it's easy. Because it's not. It's a nightmare down there. It's terrifying.
All right, which is kind
It's
of
actually
Fallout,
really
though.
hard. Yeah.
Like that happens. I like when I played Fallout 4, it's that way also, where if you're like, screw it, I'm just going to go do whatever, which means you're just going to go die.
Slade, Steel Soul. I've come close to bugging you out when you're playing to see. Yeah.
We're going to dive into it.
Yeah.
But before we totally dive into it, welcome to the show, Slade. We always love having you join us. Before we do that, tell people, yes, and we can talk about the brew. Should we do that first? And then you can tell people how they can tell their friends to follow us and whatnot. Don't forget, because our favorite podcast is our own.
I was going to try and come up with another podcast, but I couldn't think fast enough.
So the beer I'm drinking today, because let's be honest, as soon as we're done with this, I'm frantically racing back to Red Dead, and because Gary's listening, I'm racing back just
Red
to
Dead
kill your
while
horse.
you're on my phone. Yeah.
Nice. We appreciate it, buddy. And I'm going to kill your horse as soon as we're done with this. And so I'm getting in the right mindset by drinking Dos Equis.
Oh, God.
Because, like the quote goes, I don't always drink beer, but when I do. And it's an amber.
That's not true.
That's totally not true. This is not a beer I would pick off the shelf ever. These are left over from your dad when he brought them.
Oh, thanks, Dad. Oh, it's Dad.
Awesome.
Other Dad.
Thanks for joining us, Dad.
Tip of the hat.
Ambers, I'm not the biggest fan of. They have this weird.
Is it called
They're
an
like
amber
a weird
because of
model
the color?
beer. Yeah, because it's not really a light beer. It's not really a super dark beer. It's like a middle kind of beer. Maybe that's why I'm not a big fan of it, because it doesn't really commit, right? It's kind of in this weird sort of
like
range
that can
of beers.
kind of come back when we're talking about Fallout.
Maybe,
Yeah.
right? There's going to be a topic of the show today.
That's interesting.
And the other thing I'm not the biggest fan of, to be honest, is just Mexican beers in general.
Oh my God.
They have this weird, Yeah. Because I'm a racist. That's why.
Jesus.
Clearly. They kind of have this weird skunky flavor to them. And I've always noticed it with, it doesn't matter what, like the Modelo's are that way, Corona is even that way. But even this one's in a brown bottle.
Does that come is that like a Mexican style of brewing?
I don't know if it's a style or if it has to do, I didn't even look to see where this is actually brewed. Like, it might not even be totally brewed
Where is
in
Dos
Mexico.
Equis brewed? What is the government not telling us?
Right? This is everybody's favorite part when we do our ahead of time research, right?
Let's see.
Is it owned by Budweiser?
It is a subsidiary of Heineken International.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a German beer?
Yes. The company operates brewing plants in Monterrey, Guadalajara, Toluca, Tecate, or these must be cities or something.
They sound at least like South American, though, right?
Among their other brands, Dos Equis, Sol, Bohemia Superior, Carta Blanca, Noche Buena, Indio, Costa, and Tecate. Okay. So it almost sounds like
it sounds Hispanic.
Yeah. So maybe they're all just being brewed by Heineken International. Because didn't you say you didn't like Oh wait, you are drinking Dos Equis. Did I say anything else?
That was the Negro or the Modelo. Was the other one. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of a Mexican beer, but I mean, it has flavor. It's not the worst thing in the world, and I'm gonna drink 3 of them. So it's gonna do its job, and it's only 4.7%, which is why I'm gonna drink 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe it'll grow on me a little more by the end. Do we still want to do cheers?
Guadalajara is in Mexico. Okay. That's
totally. That's what I said. They're all South. Yeah. They sound like at least South American places. Is that is Mexico? I guess Central America.
That's above Central America. That's North America.
Okay, thank you.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Jack.
Well, before
you're the host.
Yeah. Before we dive into that, before we dive into the whole thing, we're just gonna just little mention of our little podcast here. It's called Nerdbuzzed. You should tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your mom, your dad.
Tell all your
worst
friends
enemy
and everybody to take that subscribe
hold the
button
blade
to pound
his throat, and you say, "There's one of 2 things that's going to happen. You're going to subscribe to Nerdbuzzed, or I'm going to kill you." And in Nerdbuzzed, it's the better option by far.
Yes.
It's yeah.
Nice.
Just spread the word.
So,
and we have a website too.
Go check that out where you can watch any episode
100% free.
as opposed to any other percentage of free?
I got this, guys.
Nice, see?
Oh my God.
Wow, you're going to get to do
with
this
Marcus
a lot.
next week. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Geography and spelling with Marcus next week. It'll be the show that never ends, right? God, until Marcus can spell one word correctly, the show will not stop.
You spell Nerdbuzz correctly, I think.
Yeah, I can spell that correctly.
Unless you had
That's a made-up word, though. Like, I made that word up. That's what I've actually
IQ
decided.
will be lowered
Anytime,
if we watch that.
anytime I put a word into my phone and spell check can't find it, I've just decided I discovered a new word.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the answer to it. I'm making up words. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not because I'm an idiot.
to all the nerds,
Through all the fuzz, bottoms up. Let's get nerdbuzzed. And let's
worked.
talk about Fallout.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Let's dive in.
So, like I said, it came out with some pretty
horrible reviews.
horrible reviews
20
across the board.
yeah.
Nobody likes it. It's doing terrible.
20% on IMDb for just the user reviews for like a week.
Yeah, and I think
Until the critic
Metacritic,
reviews.
it's got like a 40 or something.
40, 50. It's
It's
around
not.
there.
It's more turdy than go get it, right?
Yeah.
Totally. So I felt good about that actually because it was like, sweet, I chose Red
Yeah.
Dead, right? But I'm still kind of bummed because I really enjoy Fallout. I think Fallout's a great game. So I wanted to try to address some of these concerns I've at least seen online and
Yeah.
ask you because you've totally played it.
I've played a bit of it. I guess I've played 24 hours. It doesn't feel like I have. It feels like I've only played a few. But I guess just like the snippets of like when I have time.
Yeah.
It adds up.
And so we'll run them by you. You can either you can confirm or maybe elaborate on whatever.
Yeah, totally.
So one thing I've heard and I've read online is that the visuals and the graphics of the game do not hold up, especially as like compared to Fallout 4. Maybe I should make that as like a general statement. Like I don't know what else to compare it to.
No,
than
everyone
Fallout 4,
says
right?
either it's a minor improvement or it looks like a PS2 game. I definitely think it's an improvement in Fallout 4. I don't know what they're looking at. But I definitely feel like just the lighting, I feel like it makes it look a bit more crisp and alive. It makes it look more interesting. You can actually see things that are pretty far away. I remember one of my weird complaints about Fallout 4. But it's like a really important thing to me is that like if I can't see a landmark in an open world game, like if I can't see the place to go, then I'm gonna be kind of sad. That's the one thing I love the most about Mad Max is that you can see Gastown from anywhere, right? So you can look across this ridiculously big map. It's huge. It's massive. It's 4 times the size of Fallout 4. That's what Todd Howard said. I believe him. And you can see like there's this top of the world. I think it's like a restaurant, but it's like this huge UFO looking thing. And you can see these like massive structures out in the distance, and you're like, oh, I kind of want to go to those. So graphically, I definitely feel like it's a bit better. Nowhere near Red Dead, obviously. Nowhere near like God of War, but it's like, it's a step up from Fallout 4, definitely.
Okay. So there is like a good draw distance and like not a lot of just pop in where suddenly now everything pops in and you can see it as you get closer.
There's a lot of pop in. I was playing yesterday. I was having T-Will watch, and I sat by this building, and I saw like this. It's just a big muddy texture. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait for it to load, and it like loaded the texture, and then it loaded like there's all the sorts of stuff on it. I'm like, what? It can get pretty bad. It can get pretty bad sometimes.
I've heard it's super buggy. Like there's just weird buggy things going on, and
I feel like there's definitely less over time. Like from what I've seen of the beta, it was ridiculous. Oh God, all words are made up. That's true. Marcus grew a beard to make it Beardcast. Yeah,
I should, right? This is the Beardcast. You're watching it right now, Dad.
His guy in Red Dead is quite hairy and disgusting.
That count?
I feel like
yes, my guy in Red Dead is
might
very
be
hairy.
pretty
Slade is
clean-shaven.
Dad and Slade are having side banter, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard about that. About some visual and like some glitches and some of the draw distance kind of issues.
The draw distance can sometimes be really like it's like wow, that's cool, but then sometimes it's like, oh, there's a forest there. I didn't see that.
Yeah, which I think because the game is basically ignoring the narrative side of it, at least from what I've heard. We'll dive into that too. I want to come back and touch on that.
It's really complicated.
If it's gonna take that part away, like the single player experience where like that motivates you and maybe gives you a reason to say it's okay if there's a little pop in and things because there's all this energy focused on this other part of the game, right? And that part of the game's not there. I kind of feel like the world then should facilitate that, like fill the spot.
I think
and
they
should
focused
work
more
better.
on it. Okay, so I have a problem with big open world games that feel empty. because it's like I get in the grind of like I'm so tired after like a day. Fallout 4 has just a ridiculously large map, but at the same time, I love exploring it. I'll walk into a building, and I'll just be like I'm like, this is awesome. I love every second of this, right? Like I went to in like a Confederate what was it? There was like a Confederate reenactment area, and there's like an event where you can like fight your friends. It was cool. There's all these like weird Union and Confederate robots, and then a little later there's a museum, and I found like a what are they called? Like a black powder rifle and black powder pistol, and I'm like, this is awesome. And I feel like there's definitely like a lot, like the world feels just more not alive because it's definitely more dead, but it's more interesting, right? Like I feel like so many places in Fallout 4, where it's just like this bland.
I think that's saying something
cityscape,
because Fallout 4, that was one of the things I loved about it was how much the world is like almost. I mean,
if we're
going to make that comparison to Red Dead, right? Like it has somewhat of that similarity where the world is also a character in the game,
but not like the world itself, not the characters that inhabit it.
In this one,
well, I mean, even in Fallout 4, I felt like it was just kind of like there are places with people. It's whatever. Like
but you had like the story mission stuff, like with the robot detective guy. He was awesome, and I loved how like noir that whole part of the game was, and then you could go do a different part, and it felt totally different.
Like with the Brotherhood of Steel. And
but that guy was my favorite in Fallout 4. He was the one I really enjoyed that part of the story. I loved how it totally shifted into that mentality as you played as him, and so I was a little bit. That part scares me about this Fallout.
The no NPCs thing is weird. I feel like they did put a lot more into making the world interesting. Like just the landmarks, you'll just be like walking and seeing cool things. You'll be like, whoa, 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 and you're constantly like you're being pulled on a string. And I get why they did the no NPCs thing. It was to facilitate like human interaction. Right? I enjoy 4, but not as much as 3 or New Vegas. I haven't finished it either. So
that's what Slade has to say.
Yeah, 4. I can definitely understand why 4 might bug people. I can really understand why 76 might bug people. But I just really find myself enjoying it. And like I get where they were coming from with the whole. Like I don't think it was malicious intent to not put NPCs. I think they were thinking we want people to interact with each other. Right, we want people to be trading and talking and making their own like sort of characters in the wasteland. They definitely could have done that a little better, but I feel like the way it is now, it's definitely like it's really interesting coming upon a new player.
Yeah,
just because of like not just I'm never afraid of like, oh, I'm gonna have to fight this guy and it's gonna be this whole thing. It's like I just like talking to people and interacting with them. Like I've made up like some pretty.
Does that change the? I did have a question, like
if
later
you want,
on
we can
about.
We can just go straight down the list, and because I know I'm digressing a lot.
Okay. Let's see. We did graphics. I wanted to ask you about the controls. How are the controls in the game? Sometimes a strictly online game, like controller response versus what's actually happening on the screen, can be kind of laggy.
Like compared to my internet, is that it actually works really well.
Okay.
There haven't been many times where I feel like.
You guys rocking Frontier?
Yeah, we're rocking Frontier.
Okay. So which is it? I mean, if it runs great on Frontier, then it's probably fine.
I mean, there are times
at least out here,
like,
Frontier kind of sucks balls.
If I when I load into the game, right? Sometimes it'll like kind of like stop for a little bit, but I've never felt like, oh, I died because I couldn't do something. Kind of going to the controls. The one thing that is weird is that the Pip-Boy is still the same. So if you want to take like aids or like drugs or whatever, it's still like that big cumbersome menu, which is kind of weird, especially in the middle of a fight. Like in the middle of the fight, the only thing you're going to want to use is stim packs, and those are very hard to come by. Stim packs are like gold, essentially. But I never felt like the controls were like really laggy. Like it's responsive as Fallout 4.
Well, and even so Slade even says that that the point of this one is that you're the first people to go out and explore in the apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
So nobody has been released yet, So do they make that an emphasis in this? Is that their way of validating it in the game?
In the story, everyone's dead. Like there's
is 76 the very first bunker? Like the first people to get let out? And so everybody else hasn't been let out. The other Fallout games haven't happened yet.
There are other Fallout shelters that have like been let out like around that time, because 76 isn't an experiment at all. It's literally like it's like what do they call it? It's like, you know how you hold something in an experiment constant so that you can compare it fairly? Yeah. This was like, all right, what happens to these people if we just like if we just make it like what a Fallout shelter is actually supposed to be, instead of like messing with their brains, essentially. Yeah. Like this is just a normal bunker. The Overseer goes out. Yeah, it's the earliest game in the timeline.
Yeah, I guess that's what I was
The Overseer goes out like I think a couple years before or something. And you kind of follow her trail as she meets all these people, but like everyone's dead. And there's like a bunch. There's like the Enclave was there, the Brotherhood was there, which a lot of people were mad about because it kind of craps in the canon. Like you have to kind of make some canonical stretches to accept that like the Brotherhood came from like the West Coast all the way to the East Coast in like 25 years.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was the question?
Do they explain in what little narrative that's there? Do they at least like validate that there are no NPCs because you're the first people exploring the world?
It does kind of like, if you don't know that, if you didn't come into the game knowing that, you'd be like, why is it that every time I have a note that says to go here and meet this guy, he's either a robot or dead? You get really mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't explain it well enough. I feel like they should have just kind of done with the whole thing of like, it's like abandoned entirely. Like that, yeah. I guess that would have worked out. But it is still kind of nice, like reading lore and seeing how the people adapted and how they died too.
Again, that makes it weird for. Well, maybe then in that case, it's assuming that people that are playing this are people that have already played Fallout, so they kind of can fill in those holes themselves, right? So maybe that kind of facilitates those people a little bit. One of the other big complaints I've heard about the game is that the AI is garbage.
It can
I've seen videos online of where they go to like attack a guy and he'll just stand there.
Yeah, he'll just T-pose.
Yeah, and he won't do anything. And you can just
yeah,
and they'll just pop in he'll just pop in front of you and maybe won't even attack you and just be there and you can just kill him.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. It usually only happens with like the lower level enemies, I've noticed. So like Scorched, which are essentially like ghoul raiders. I haven't gone to the lore about what they are, but it seems kind of interesting. And then definitely a lot with ghouls. Like the ghouls are just really dumb. But like I haven't really seen that with super mutants often, which sucks because super mutants they're really strong in this game. Or like so the animals can be pretty dumb. They won't like climb up stuff, but there are like the higher level enemies it kind of gets. It seems like it's a little better, but yeah, like they're not gonna, if you're standing on a high ledge and they can't throw anything at you, you win. Essentially, unless you run out of bullets or your gun breaks or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna really like go around too much, or like it I don't know. They're try and get
super
to you.
Aggressive.
Yeah, no. Well, once you're in front of them, you're gonna die. And some of the enemies, I think they have kind of like made ways to where they can go around that. Like those scorpions can go underground, and so it's like if you get on a high ledge, they go underground, and the moment you like. Or you'll be like walking around for a little bit, they'll pop up and get you. There's these things called snallygasters, which can like just shoot these balls of poison that like spread. So if you stay in one area, you're just gonna get like DPS'd over time. But yeah, a lot of the enemies can be, especially ghouls, can just be like the dumbest ever.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of complaints about that. One of the biggest complaint, which I think is kind of typical of a Fallout game, is the over-encumbered. Have you ran into that where you were constantly...
Have I ran into over-encumbered? You know how I play Fallout 4? I have it to where I can fast travel when over-encumbered. I will go to an area, take everything, put it all in one container, take everything from that container and put it in my vault. Like, and normally I play like that. I don't mind it as much. In this game, it's like getting over encumbered happens a lot faster. And in Fallout 4, it's like, all right, whatever. I can just put it all in like a container, right? You get these things called stash boxes. Big controversy. I'm sure it's on your list. The stash box limit is 400 pounds.
Yep.
That is ridiculous.
I heard it's going
That
to
is-
get patched to 600.
It's going to change soon
Yeah.
because they've gotten. I will totally agree that that's ridiculously small.
Okay.
Like when I need to hold up like power, like in Fallout 4, I hoard power armor frames. Right. In this game, I have 2. I have one for me and one that I'm gonna give to like a new player that I find and be like, here, take this power armor frame. You can get it at any level, right? But like, there's definitely a lot more resource management, which kind of plays into the survival thing, which I can kind of get. But the carry weight does seem really low. I think that'll get bumped up, but the stash box limit is ridiculous and it makes me angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Gary makes a good point. He mentions that Bethesda is known for ambitious games that are riddled with bugs.
Yeah.
I imagine it's significantly worse in an MMO, which I would kind of assume also.
Significant. Well,
I think,
every Bethesda game at launch or not is always terrible.
yeah.
Like with the bugs, and
Well, especially I think a game that is solely an MMO, right? A game that is solely online. Like
Yeah.
there really isn't a single player, right?
you can kind of make it. That's what I do sometimes. Like
But you're always reliant on a server. Like if you don't have internet, you can't play Fallout 76,
which
right?
is kind of weird. I don't get
So
why that's a thing.
yeah, that's kind of an issue with it. And I've always felt like a Bethesda game feels like a PC game when I'm playing it. Like even though I'm using a
They rely a
controller, I
bit too much
feel
on
like
mods.
it feels like you have a mouse in your hands.
Skyrim was fine on 360, PS3 just sucked. Yeah, that's what I heard. And the 360 was a bit more powerful, or like it was easier to develop on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, one of the things I do want to dive into, because like I said, I think it's unavoidable to not compare this to Fallout 4, right?
Oh, yeah.
That
Well,
was the last game, right?
Yeah.
Which was a huge success. People absolutely,
Yeah.
they loved it. It was this really big deal when it came out. I loved it. It was one of the earlier games I think we reviewed on Nerdbuzzed. You have to go to nerdbuzz.com,
Really?
check out the archives, and you
Yeah.
can listen to that.
Good plug.
Yeah, right. The only plug you're gonna get.
Yeah.
On Nerdbuzzed. All other than check out stupid Micah Forest
Or Nintendo Powercast.
or Nintendo Powercast. That's right. Or go onto Twitter and give Slade Steel Soul a hard time. That's what we do.
Yeah.
So let's see. So because we've kind of talked about how there's no real story to motivate you through this. There's no NPCs to kind of
Yeah. That isn't to say that there's nothing to motivate you.
Yeah, but there's not.
But
You're not
yeah,
going to
it's-
get in. There's not all these voice actors and
Yeah,
like this
it's
in
not
depth
like
story and
the
these
brother-
characters.
Yeah,
and,
well, I mean, like, it's like a lot of that stuff's there. I haven't. Okay, so I can't really speak onto all that because I haven't joined the Brotherhood yet. I know that you can get some pretty cool stuff, or like the Enclave. You can
Yeah.
get.
but you're never going to
it's-
run
yeah.
into another human, right? As
Yeah,
far as
well,
you know.
Okay, you're not going to run into a character.
Yeah,
You run into
well,
humans. Yeah.
yeah,
a
yeah.
bit.
You'll run into other people playing the
Yeah.
game online, but not an NPC that's a
Yeah.
human that will have like a mission for you to go do and like interact with them or like be your, be that person that just follows you along and
And
just
I
is
think
random
they wanted
fire
the
and
community to kind of do that themselves, which is kind of what, like, if in the long term this game does find more people, then I would like to kind of like facilitate that.
stuff. Yeah, well, especially with its recent price cut, maybe
Yeah.
that'll help, right?
Yeah, make Jackistan real
Yeah.
again.
So we kind of touched on it. I guess if there's no narrative, then it's totally relying on the world to facilitate that role, right? And
yeah,
the community,
well, it's like the
I guess.
world community, nukes. Just the fact that you can do that, like getting sort of to the next, like fighting more. I guess killing bigger stuff. There's a lot more like weird monsters and weird things, items. I get like it's a lot more. It's not nearly as narrative based. I mean,
Yeah.
there is lore. Like I like reading the lore. I'll be like going to this town and be like, how'd they die? Oh, all their farming robots. They set them to like kill. Or they set like the thing to 0, so they just started killing everyone. That's kind of funny. But like, I guess my motivation is it's like I just kind of want to explore. I want to join the Brotherhood. I want to join the Enclave. I want to read all about like their lore. I want to get better weapons, get better armor. I want to get better like cosmetics. I want to look how I want to look. It's just like weird things.
Yeah.
But there's so many of them that it
So
it all kind of
in a way, it sounds like
and then nukes is a huge one for me. That's like the one thing that I'm like I'm so excited to just launch a nuke.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
But it sounds like the bush you're beating around here is that yes, there's no narrative given to you in Fallout 76,
Yeah.
but it really encourages you to create your own. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
But it's kind of on you to take the reins there.
If you can't do that, then this game is not for you.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, unless you like just like playing. Unless you like playing with other people, like it's this game is so confusing. And oh, thank God he's using my thanks.
I am though.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, Jay.
No, he's licking it. And if I'm being really confusing, just like ask me to elaborate because it's like it's so hard to put into words like why I like it.
I know we had a little pre-show banter, and you kept coming back to that. It's like
I don't know.
I don't know, and I want to give you an answer, but I don't know.
I know that I like it, but it's like putting it into words. Hopefully, we'll find like a
So I guess that maybe that kind of comes back to the like what is the motivation? Like I would assume I might get kind of bored playing the game, right? Because again, I'm a big fan of this of the narrative part of Fallout 4. And, like that motivates me. I want to meet the next character, and like I want to fall in love with the world that way. For me, picking up a letter and reading about the lore, it's not action-y enough. I mean, like, how many times do I say put the damn suit on and go fight someone, right? Like you're like I don't want to play the Peter Parker game. I want to play the Spider-Man game, right?
No, well, no. Okay, I
do you find parts? Are you getting bored with it at all because of that?
No.
Okay, so
that's
that's
so
not
much fun.
Okay,
it's like it's I've been thinking a lot about how people talk about the kind of the old times of like back in the day we used to talk about how like you can play as a like a lizard, or who's the guy from Mortal Kombat that you could play as, and people talked about on the playground. That's what Fallout 76 is. It's like, if you go to this part of the map, you can join the Brotherhood. You get like orbital like strikes. I'm like, what? Like there's all this incentive to just explore and like really like figure out all that the game has.
Okay.
So I don't think I'll be bored until I'm like completely like done. Reptile. There we go. Yep. No Man's Sky, but Fallout.
Yep. I was gonna bring up. Jay asks.
It's better. I played No Man's Sky. I was so bored immediately.
Okay.
Because it's just the most grindy, repetitive gameplay loop, and if you strip back this, it's essentially what this game is Fallout 4, bigger, more weapons, more stuff, but it's like a mod, right? But like a mod without a story, really, or like there's like kind of a story, but they couldn't pay for voice actors.
Yeah,
it's essentially a really good Fallout 4 mod made by Bethesda with like a ridiculous amount of money behind it.
Yeah.
I guess
So I guess with the questions around all that stuff, what I'm kind of boiling down to is like, who the hell is this game for, right? Because it's the way you're explaining it is really sounding like I'm the guy that's gonna wait till it's $20 on PSN, because it doesn't have those things that I love about Fallout 4. So if you're the diehard Fallout 4 fan who loved all the stories and you want to see the reoccurring characters and like you want to bridge those gaps between all the different Fallouts and all that stuff, right? Which I could see being a lot of Fallout fans, right?
Yeah.
They're in that boat of that is what makes Fallout so good. Or is it for the guy that just wants to play online just wants to play an MMO? Like, I don't really care about that stuff. I just want to meet my buddies online, but be able to play Fallout.
It's for that guy could definitely have a lot of fun. Lore nerds might have fun with Fallout 76, but I mean, they kind of retcon a lot of stuff, so I feel like they might get really pissy. The people who like the story aren't going to find much. Like, it's fun to be like, oh, how does this connect to the whole grand scheme of things? But that's like, that's not going to satisfy you at all. If you like the gameplay of Fallout 4, you're going to have a lot of fun. If you like exploring a really rich open world, you're going to have a lot of fun. But it's like, it does alienate a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't think, like,
which
based
again,
on what
I
you're
come
saying,
back to is so weird.
Yeah.
Because those people are such this like hardcore fan base.
Yeah.
Right? It's a ballsy move for them to do. And if I'm totally honest, I can't help but think that this is like a placeholder for Fallout 5. And what if in Fallout
It could be.
5 you just get an online mode that is like
Yeah.
this, right?
I mean, that could be it, and that would be really cool. Because I think there's a lot of stuff here that works.
like, do you think this would have been? I mean, obviously it would depend on the next game, but I mean, would it have been better received had Bethesda held out and given us a Fallout 5 with this as your online
Like you're
option?
in that map. I mean, I guess yeah. People probably would have liked it a bit more. I think especially coming out near like Red Dead, it was like, you know,
Right.
people were like, all right, we can't keep excusing this. And I think I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like, all right, Bethesda, like what are you doing? You have so much money.
Yeah, well, that's what I was wondering. Is this a step forward for Bethesda, or, I mean, like, is it a step backwards? Like, can you even answer it? Is it even fair to compare it to Fallout 4?
It is fair to compare it to Fallout 4 and like. In like certain aspects, definitely not narrative, but I think gameplay. It seems like there's more options. It's, you can play it more like I mean, I haven't played New Vegas. I'm kind of like there's just like knowledge, right? You can play it more specialized. You're not a jack of all trades like you were in Fallout 4. It definitely feels more interesting.
Well, you're less. It sounds like, at least in Fallout 76, that you obviously are the star of your own narrative that you're creating for yourself, but you're not so much the star that there aren't all these other people around you creating their narratives also.
Yeah.
So if they're better at that, I mean, you could be this quick moment in their narrative that could shut your narrative down.
Yeah.
Right?
And
like, I'm assuming
there are moments where it's like, you know, I walk up to a guy in power armor and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like this little guy. And I remember being that little guy at the beginning, and that's really cool. And there's stuff like that, but it's definitely it's not the same as like, you know, you go into Diamond City and you meet all these people, right? It's you definitely have to be willing to make your own narrative, but I think if you are able to do that, if you are able to like play it through the lens of like your own character, I think you can have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, I could see a lot of people that are into Fallout thinking this is what I've been waiting for, right? Like I've been wanting to roam, almost like a Borderlands mentality where I've been wanting to roam this wasteland with my buddies.
Yeah, like I don't care about all this other stuff. Yeah, I just want to
like that is the part that matters to me.
And we'll probably talk about it more later, but the actual team, like the teamwork element, is I think it's handled really well.
Yeah,
I really like it. I like playing with team.
Maybe that's a good segue. I do want to talk about, because it is only online.
Yeah.
Right? So, first off, how many people can be on one map?
24, which is kind of small.
Okay. But it's a massive map.
Yeah.
I actually like that, though.
But I've heard a lot of people say you never run into anyone. That's not true. I run into people constantly, not even preparing for it. Like, just yesterday there's like this crashed airplane in a mountain, and I see this guy sneaking around, like killing super mutants, and I walk up to him and I just go like, thumbs up. And it was a brief little interaction, but it was kind of cool. And they're like, yeah, and we went on our merry ways, and I like.
How does like chat work? Can you only chat like when people are close enough to hear
can
them?
Chat in proximity. There's a team chat, so if you're in a team with someone, no matter where you are on the map, which I love, you can hear each other.
Okay,
right?
So it's like making a party.
Yeah, but it's not done through PSN's like whole thing. Like it's done in the game, which I kind of like a little bit better because then it's easier to like talk to people. In a post-apocalyptic, hundreds would be too many. Yeah, I would like. I mean,
totally
ideally,
agree.
I would like 60.
Like 60 would be better.
Actually,
I was wondering how many it was.
Actually, that might be too. Because now that I'm thinking about it, it feels perfect. Like I can be alone, right? Like I can totally be alone, and like I see people over there. I know I'm gonna want to talk to them, and we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. But it's like I want to complete this quest. I want to go here. I want to explore what this thing is. Right, so it kind of gives you the option to like be alone. I don't know.
Well, I could see it creating a little bit more of maybe a real world scenario where if you are in this apocalyptic world where there isn't a lot of people, you might be more inclined to give someone a chance to see if they want to like team up or be more of a buddy as opposed to just being an asshole right out of the gate and killing everybody you see.
Yeah, and since it's and like since it's kind of freaky, like you'll be looting a bunch of stuff. And it's like, if they kill you, you'll drop this little bag that has all your scrap in it. Or not all your scrap, but all the things that you can scrap. So, like, your like a little wrench, a little thing of duct tape, and that stuff is very important, right? So there's this kind of like, I'm cool, bro, mentality, and like I've never come up to anyone that's wanted to kill me. I have been that guy before with this kid that I play with. Really, every time we play, he's like, we're gonna go kill people. I'm like, I feel too guilty. One time we rolled up on this guy. There's this little city that's just filled with super mutants constantly. And he's like, we're all getting killed, and we're like teaming up, and we kill the super mutants. And the kid's like, wow, yeah, you're welcome for saving you. He's like, all right, now drop all your aluminum. And the guy just starts running away, and I have this whole thing of like, maybe we shouldn't kill him. I already feel guilty.
Yeah.
And then we ended up teaming up for hours, just talking to this random guy, and like, it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I'm friends with him on PSN. I think I am. Like, there's a lot of people that I've met that I really want to play with again because they were just like really nice people.
So my next question was, is it more fun versus or co-op? But it sounds like both have their appeals.
Yeah, no, there have been times where it's like it can get pretty frantic when you're fighting a bunch of people. The guy who played the beta set up camp right outside the vault, giving new players gear. Yep, and advice was a phenomenal story. He became an NPC. Yeah.
They betray him at the end. Okay.
No. What? No, but like, yeah, you can't. I guess you can be that guy. Like, if you want there to be an NPC, it's like you can kind of be. I mean, that's a terrible excuse. I shouldn't say that. But like, you can totally be that.
It doesn't justify that there's zero. Yeah. But if you, again, it's about creating your own narrative, right? If you want to be an NPC in the game, this game allows it.
Yeah. And I kind of want to go into how, like, I mean, teamwork is fun in general, but like the way it facilitates it is really interesting. So the way you level up in this game is you level up your specials, and you can get to level 50. But since there's like 7 specials, Preston Garvey, oh god, no, I tried to be like Preston Garvey once, and they started shooting at me. So don't be Preston Garvey. No one wants to hear about him. You can get to level 50, and or you stop gaining special points at level 50, I should say, and since there's 7 perk or like special trees, like strength, perception, whatever.
Yeah.
Typical. And they go 10. You have to like kind of take away 20. And they're talking about respecing in the future. Oh my god, PTSD from that. There is no Perks of Fallout 76. No Preston Garvey. But you get these things called Perk Cards. And like every few levels, you get a few more. And how do you explain them? It's like something on the special tree, right? And rather than like leveling up and like hitting that slot and like locking that in forever, like there's that skill like batter or whatever.
Yeah.
Where it's like your damage with bats or like two-handed melee weapons increases by 10%. That's not a perk card. You put that into strength. So then you can, it's so hard to explain without playing it, but you level up again, you upgrade strength, that gets you another slot. So every perk card takes up 1 slot of your special tree, and you can have up to 10 in there. The thing is perk cards can combine, and when they combine, that'll take up, like, so if you get that,
you can like literally stack
thing,
the deck.
Yeah. If you get that slugger thing again, you've combined that perk card, and now it takes up 2 slots, right? And so you're like, oh no. But then say you're playing and you're not really using melee weapons and you have a strength perk that's like, it increases your carry capacity, and then another one that like it's like shotguns do more damage. And you have those 2 perk cards, you can take the 2-point card out and put 2 1-points in. Or if you have 3 points of like in your strength, you can have a level 3 card that you've combined like 3 times. You can combine like however many times they level up. So I think I have one that like reduces the weight of junk. I have that like to 4.
Yeah,
because that's really
because
useful.
it's retarded in this game.
But if I don't want to carry around junk, like if I'm just doing like a very specific thing, it's like I just want to go here and kill this thing. Take away that. Put in a bunch of shotgun things. You can switch it out constantly. So
that's cool that you're not committed to it.
Yeah, you can have the ability to lockpick, but you can switch that out at any time and say, oh,
so if you go up to a lock,
put
you can
it back
just
in.
suddenly put that back in.
Yeah.
Can you do like preferred sets? Like where you have quick sets? Have they offered that?
I don't think they've offered that yet.
That is something
No,
they should
that
patch.
would be really cool.
Yeah,
but
give me a quick
it's
set.
really easy to navigate the menu for that.
Okay.
Like you.
So they can make that menu really easy, but they can't make your
the
Pip-Boy,
yeah.
like, right?
The Pip-Boy's the same, but the actual.
This sounds like
yeah.
an MMO. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
This
Big,
is all
cumbersome-
screaming MMO,
Yeah.
right?
No.
It's like,
but
what
it's-
part of this game is? Who is this for?
But it's definitely not as much of an MMO as the one game that we played a while ago. Dragon.
Neverwinter.
Yeah, Neverwinter.
Yeah.
I got burned out on that quick.
Yeah.
Honestly, you try navigating the wasteland with 150 pounds on you. Yeah, but it's yeah. That's what Power Armor's for. Oh, and Power Armor actually has it's like the fusion cores last way longer, so you can get in Power Armor early game. I'm digressing. But the coolest thing about perk cards is that when you're in a team, you can share one of your perk cards with everyone in the party.
Oh, so they all get the perk from
Yeah,
it.
and they can all do that. So if you have 4 people, you can just like stack.
How many people can you have in a party at once? How big can you make your
I
team?
think the parties go up to 4.
Okay.
I don't think I've been in a party of 3 before a couple times, and
How
that's really fun.
So because it's purely online, how reliable are the servers?
Sometimes they're amazing. Sometimes
Thank you, Frontier. Is
yeah.
that part of it?
No,
You
like
think, or is
sometimes
it Bethesda?
Bethesda, the server, you'll just get disconnected. It doesn't happen often enough, but it's happened at times where it's been like kind of inconvenient. But you go right back in. I haven't lost anything, right? Which I am a huge fan of. Is it like going back in? You don't lose anything, which would be really bad if it was like it saved every once in a while, but it's like constantly saving. But it's still like that is something that needs to get fixed. Is like there will be times when it disconnects
Especially because it's only online.
yeah.
Like you have to have internet.
And it has those like those early days Bloodborne level loading times
Oh, okay.
when you load into the server. But there's never the loading screens like if you go into a building, like one of the few buildings that actually like you can walk, you like open a door and it's a separate area. The load times for that are quick, which is nice. Add in radiation sickness, poor fate. Okay.
I like that Jeremiah is like, it's better than my internet.
Yeah.
That's
Drink
not saying
Red
much,
Bull.
Jay.
Drink,
Jay is back to fighting the internet
Take
monster.
jet. No, I guess you want to take cycle.
So I get if we're talking about that part of it, the MMO and being strictly online, how easy is it to find your friends?
Oh, so
Like, how easy is it to just you and your buddy you message each other however and like let's fire it up and play?
No, the guy that I play with, this guy named Claytor, which I at first was like, oh, is that Claytoris? Because I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
No,
That's great though. I like
he's-
that twist.
No, he's this kid from little kid from California. We play all the time. I actually played with I didn't play with him, but I was in a party with Tab or that's his name on PSN. Tam.
Tam. Okay.
Yeah.
He's chatted with us.
Yeah.
He's not here today. Whatever. We hate you.
Yeah, Tam, get out of here. It was fun. I didn't need to play with him sometime, but I played with this one kid, and like I'll be walking around, and just suddenly I'll turn around and I'll be there and be like, "What's up?" Like he just pops in. It's the easiest thing. No, like I've never popped into someone else's server, but like it's so easy for someone to pop in yours, and even if the server's at capacity, if you join someone else, like if you join through someone else, it'll just be like whatever. We'll increase the capacity. Which it does not happen in GTA.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Which is really nice.
Has anyone stolen anything from you?
Yes, actually.
Because I've had like 2 beers before.
And this kind of this actually kind of comes into the whole like wholesome community thing. I was playing in one of the first towns. I was gotta watch a mission briefing. Yeah, respect. I was fighting some ghouls and they killed me. And there were people around. They're just kind of running around. And when you die, be it like a monster, player, anything, you drop your bag full of all your like not your junk. I think it's categorized as junk instead of scrap. It's like before you scrap everything. So like it'll just be tape instead of because when you break down tape, it's adhesive. It's like your tape, everything before you break it down, right? Which can be a lot of stuff. I got killed. All that stuff got dropped, and then I see this message that says, someone stole your stuff. I'm like, what? And I see this guy by my bag, and he starts running away, and I'm chasing after him, doing all the emotes of like, hey, what's going on? And I put him, and then I didn't put on my mic yet, but like we had this like I was kind of doing like one of these, and he drops all my stuff for me, and then he gives me a little extra, and I'm like, oh my god! And so then, like for like 10 minutes, we're just giving each other stuff.
That's cool.
And it was like this really weird interaction, but yeah, and like the times that I killed people, I tried to be really respectful and like not steal anything because it is kind of like a total d-bag move, and it never like I've died around people before, and that hasn't happened again. So it's not like people are like, oh, taking all your stuff. It doesn't feel
so
like hostile.
again, it speaks to the community though.
Yeah, it's weird how nice this community is.
Which is again maybe because of the smaller amount of people allowed in a session, right? Again, if you're going to be the one guy that's an asshole, could you chat with other people and be like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
He's being a dick to everyone. And then you guys go in and
if you start killing people, eventually you'll become marked on the map and there will be a bounty on your head. And that bounty will come out of your pool of caps. So I've seen a guy with like 20, he's like had a 20 cap bounty. I stayed away from that, right? And the PvP is really weird. It's like you have to initiate it. So someone fires on you. It's like Borderlands where you like fire at each other. Yeah. But the thing is like one guy fires on you, you fire back. But then when you fire back, you do full damage. And when they're firing on you, it does like a tiny amount of damage, which is kind of a weird system. But once you kill each other the first time, then you'll automatically be enemies.
Oh, okay.
But I do think that it should be like a 3, 2, 1
So,
before you start doing all this damage to each other.
So do you have you done this with your friends at all? Because like if we talk about like GTA, and I'm sure this was going to happen in Red Dead. Whenever I play my GTA on Tuesdays, my friends will join, but the way I know they've joined is because it says your rival so-and-so has joined the session. Yeah. And it's because we kill each other more than anybody else kills us.
That's funny, yeah.
Right? Does it do anything like that? Does it recognize anything like that from session to session?
Not really.
Okay.
Which would be kind of cool.
I love that when my friends jump in, that's what it says, right?
Yeah.
Like your mortal enemy is here, but we totally were going to meet up anyway. That's what Tuesday's for.
Have you made a base yet? Yeah, I made one outside of the Mothman Museum. Really nice thing about base. So fast travel in this game costs caps. So the more you go, it'll just be a ridiculous amount of caps. But fast traveling to bases and workshops is free. So I made one outside of the Mothman thing, so that when I got the second lock picking skill, I could break in and see the little cult beneath. It was a fun little thing. I haven't gone too much into it because it's like you can put your bases down anywhere. Right?
Yeah. I've heard that you can make them do all whatever to them and then just kind of pick them up and drop them anywhere you want.
Yeah, so when I load back into the game, I left, I came back in the game and my base was gone. I'm like, "What is this?" And then it started spawning in exactly how it was. And so you can actually make the base itself a prefab or whatever and just place it down, which is really nice. But you can only have one.
Okay. I mean, in a way, I give them a nod for that because I think that's totally an awesome way to do it. Like, they're not going to lock you to a narrative, so why restrict you on those things? Yeah. Right? So that's the way to handle it, I guess I should say.
I would like to play with you too, Dad. Does Dad have PS4?
Dad, do you have PS4? Ask him.
Dad, do you have a PS4? Because I would totally play with you. Teleporting.
I don't think he does because by now we would be friends. I would hope.
Elder Scrolls Online. I'm like, gold.
At least if we played games, it would say, "Dad, your mortal enemy, Dad, has joined the session." Right? At least it'd say that. I'd have killed his horse by now.
I've only fought with my friends once. We had a fist fight. Me and Claytor. It was pretty fun. But then he had this armor where he plays Xbox. Dang it.
Man.
If you had a PS4, I'd totally play with you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you should get PS4
Play with us. Play Red Dead. Yeah.
I haven't killed anybody's horse yet, so just so you know, whoever's horse I kill first in Red Dead, you're the only one, right? It only happens once. Yeah. Once. So
what's going to happen once to everyone?
Yeah, that's true, but for me, it only happens once. So that's a moment we're going to share. It'll be really intimate and personal between us, and I will watch you bleed and die.
I read your notes a little bit. I see one that I'm really interested in.
So let's see. So one thing I do want to ask you, because clearly we've touched on a lot of the community's just bitch fest about this game, right? Like, the community is upset.
But there's this, I mean, it may just be the videos that I've been watching, but there are a lot of people that are like really, really positive about it. It's like if you look in the comment sections of a lot of videos, people are just like, I like this game. This game is fun.
I guess
which is so weird.
if I was to compare it, I would almost say this is the reactions that everybody are having to Fallout 76 is what I would expect to have to the Metal Gear Survive. Remember when that came out, which was strictly the online, but I think I might be wrong, but I think when that came out, it was only like $20, $25.
Yeah, it was cheaper.
Right? Like it wasn't a
and
full
I think
game.
At that point, well, everyone had like low expectations.
They'd already
anyways.
said Kojima's not in it, like whatever. This would be like if Bethesda was working on Fallout 5, but they had this other company develop Fallout 76 in the meantime.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm kind of getting a little bit of that vibe from the response I've been reading on the internet and what everybody's been saying about it. But I think for the like $30 or whatever the Metal Gear Survive is, if I had a friend or two that played that, it might be fun. Like I just enjoy playing an online game.
People say like you can have fun with anything. I think Fallout 76 is fun like without friends.
Okay.
Not in the way that like Metal Gear Survive is fun with friends. That's fun because you laugh at it and it's terrible. Fallout 76 is fun because it's like I'm just having fun.
Okay.
I need to get on the Discord thing. I'm just gonna do it right now.
Discord channel.
Yeah.
By any chance, do you guys have a Discord? We do, and I think it's Nerdbuzzed podcast because that's what I've made everything.
I might just make.
It's already on there, Jack. Don't mess it up.
Well, you should.
Then they're gonna be 2. What if people find the other one, and then I won't respond to anything they say?
That's such a weird thing.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Jack's gonna do it. He's gonna move out of the hosting
thing, and I'll friend you right now. So that'll like remind me to do it.
He's probably asking you this because you're on 0 social media anywhere else.
I'm
I've tried to tag you and stuff, but you're just not anywhere.
I'm not on Instagram much though.
So I think the biggest question, around Fallout 76, because there is all these complaints and whatever people have to say, I think it's awesome that you're loving it. Are all these issues that people are bitching about patchable? Can they just be fixed with a patch?
I think a lot of them are like, not a bugs can, yeah. I guess what now I can't think of like the main complaints. I mean the NPCs thing I could maybe see happening like a little bit. Like
I don't think that'll ever happen.
A Brotherhood.
I guarantee
comes in
if that happens, they make you pay for it. I guarantee that's like a $10.
I think it's all gonna
or a
be
$20 NPC
free,
pack.
No, like all the DLC to this game is gonna be free. Like they've talked about adding there's like vaults in the game. You can't get in them yet, but they're like we're working on those, and those would be like weird events. Send your friend request. I think some of it can, but I feel like people are just. Yeah, I guess actually a lot of it can be. Yeah, I think it's like certain content people don't like.
Do you think people went into this just expecting too much?
I don't know what people were expecting. I thought that they presented it in a way that was like, yeah, this is what it is.
I was really what I was hoping for. I wasn't really expecting anything. But for me, I've played Fallout 3. I've played a little bit of the Vegas one, not a lot, and then when I dove in again was Fallout 4.
Yeah.
And I super enjoyed Fallout 4. I still have not totally beaten Fallout 4, but I'll put that game in from time to time. I still have a blast with it. It's loads of fun. And again, I think if I was the guy that got this game, because of all the things that you're kind of confirming some of the things that people are saying.
Yeah, like it's definitely is a lot of bad things to this game, but
only if you're like that really narrative-driven Fallout fan, right?
Yeah, okay, I don't want to say that I'm not narrative-driven because usually that is what does it for me. Like some of my favorite games like Horizon have just like I love it because of the narrative like a lot. But I don't. It's just if you like the gameplay loop of Fallout 4, and like expand it a little bit, then I think you'll like it. If you like playing stuff as a team with people.
Yeah.
Or just like talking to new people. Like it's such a welcome. It's
just
a really welcome.
What do you think Bethesda could do, or what would you like to see them do, to maybe to kind of facilitate that a little more for other people out there? Like, would you like to see them do something, or are you stoked that you're stoked for it, and you're cool with just your small group of people being stoked for
I
it,
would
and
like
you
to
guys
have
can
more
play.
people support it. I mean, like I don't think I'm ever gonna stop meeting people. I think people are gonna be playing it for a while, but I really hope that Bethesda like puts on their big boy pants and says, "Hey, Red Dead, watch out!" You know,
Yeah.
got a new player in the game. I would like to see them add. I guess
Like,
just
what can
like
they do, you think?
maybe add like a couple NPCs. Add faction. So I haven't joined the factions. I don't know what it feels, but from what it seems like, it's not as meaningful as walking up to Elder Maxon or whatever, and then being like, "Ad Victorium, General," right?
Are there moments in the game where you're playing with your buddy and there's like a common goal that you're both trying to achieve, and it'll like level both your guys up, and you can it's kind of got even a shred of that story element to it?
Kind of like we were trying to break into the Brotherhood's like this hospital they have. Like Clater was like, "Dude, I know where the Brotherhood is." I'm like, "Oh, let's go there." So we went there. We got killed so fast. That's gonna be a goal for another time. But like, I don't know. I haven't really. No, actually, we did play for a common goal. We were like trying to take over these settlements to like mine gold from the ground. But we're constantly being like these like whatever monsters would start like invading it. And we'd constantly like we'd go our separate ways, kind of doing whatever on the map, and then we'd come back to here, and we'd make our base a little better and more powerful, and we'd be like taking gold, and it was like this cool. It was just this cool little thing. But I haven't really gone into the whole like I think once you join a faction is when it really starts to have that sort of stuff of like, okay, you want to do this because you want to like get cooler stuff. So I guess I haven't really done that so far, but I don't feel like
Because even
I know
like
it's
Borderlands, we've dabbled in Dying Light recently.
Yeah.
But like all those things, they have such a common goal that when you make a team that we're all striving for to get through the game. And I know that is narrative,
I mean,
right? That
yeah.
this game doesn't have. Is there motivation in it to work as a team, or do you have to completely come up with that narrative on your own and be like,
Is
I
there
guess guys will
okay.
do
Oh, I
this,
see what you're saying. Yes,
or
okay.
let's get together, and then what do we do now? Like now that we're together, like is there clear-cut things where if we go do this together as a team, we will all reap the benefits from it and level up?
I mean, that's definitely what the nukes are. Like those literally create like high-level raid zones where it's like you need to go in as a team, but there are certain areas where it's like I'm not high enough level, you're not high enough level, but if we tackle this together, we're gonna like level up like crazy.
Okay, that's cool.
There are areas that we tried to do that with last night. There was this prison filled with super mutants, and we kept dying. So we were actually, he wanted to like recruit a small like army. He wanted to recruit like me and some low level players, and we're just gonna go and try and tackle this together. But I had to go to work. But I mean, yeah, there definitely are things where it's like, let's go over here. Like this is yeah, I guess me and Clater kind of do that a lot. I never really thought of that. But like, he'll just be like, we're just gonna go to the east part of the map. I'm like, why would we go there? It's crazy difficult. He's like, yeah, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. And we run there, and it's like, yeah, it's like its own little adventure of like just trying to survive and like some of the hard areas.
Totally creating your own narrative.
Yeah.
That seems like just this massively overarching theme with Fallout 76.
Yeah.
You if you're going to play Fallout 76, you need to be willing to facilitate that role for yourself.
Yeah. And I haven't even really been doing that too much. I guess like I've just been kind of playing it to explore. But I know at a point there's going to become a shift where it definitely becomes like I'm going to become like a character. Like my ultimate goal is to just like make Jakistan in Fallout 76.
That's my next question. Should we just segue right into it?
Oh my god.
Have you made
Jakistan?
Jakistan?
So excited. No,
Has Jakistan happened? You would not shut up about it for so long before this game came out.
I need to start sowing the seeds to it. Like I've talked to a couple people. Right,
Can you make Jakistan? Can that happen in the game?
I think so. So they're talking about adding faction-based PvP, and they've kind of been alluding that you can make your own factions. Okay. Because there's like the Brotherhood, the Enclave, there's like the Responders, which are like the Minutemen but cooler. Shout out to Preston Garvey. And like I think there are some other factions, like there's Raiders and stuff, but I think you can make your own. And when you do that, the moment that starts happening, I'm Jakistan. Yeah. I want to make a base that says it. That's like in like a really welcoming area of the map where people like see it.
Like you walk into the gates
Yeah.
of Jakistan.
And from what I heard, there are blank holotapes, and so people are speculating whether or not there's eventually you can like record a holotape and like have it.
That
play.
would be cool.
That would be amazing.
You could make up your own. Again, emphasizing the creating your own narrative.
And there's so much potential. Oh my! Thank you, Slade. I was literally just thinking there is so much potential to improve. And I really hope that Fallout 76 like facilitates it so that I can like that. That is the end goal.
Yeah.
I guess there is a goal of Fallout 76, and it is to become a dictator of the wasteland.
Yeah.
And just nuke stuff constantly. Just be like crazy. Be like a really intimidating force, but like another settlement. Yeah, another settlement needs to get blasted. But I also am really stoked to just meet people and become like a high level player, meet low level players, and encourage them to play the game more by like just being cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Which it sounds like the communities are a little bit tilted that way.
Yeah.
So have you played enough to where you would put a score on Fallout?
God, there's the big I miss. Big head. Yep. Yeah, I will become God. I'm really excited. A score so far.
Jeremiah has commented that he misses Jack's big head.
Objective, I think.
Yeah.
Like I can
you
completely
personally,
understand. Yeah.
because I'm just based on what you're saying.
I don't know if this is a game for you.
I'm so stoked I got Red Dead instead of this. I really am, which I can't say enough good things about. But at the same time, like because this is already coming down in price, which again is not a great sign for it, but
Ugly Jack.
I could see I could see getting it down the road.
I think you should. It'd be fun to play with you. Like I think you would be the type of guy that would just like to play Fallout 76 with people.
Yeah.
Which I think that's one of the things I think it facilitates really well. Is just like playing with other people in general. Like the sharing perk cards thing is a really nice touch.
Yeah.
The whole perk cards things in general, like, oh, we need like a tank, we need a sniper or whatever. Like,
so we can
swap all that out.
We can always check in with you later, but sweet.
As a score.
So if you had to put a score on it right now, I mean, it's just as far as what you played. What would you say?
It's what I've played, and I know I'm gonna get so much flack for this.
He's a young man for sure.
Honestly,
I think he misspelled handsome.
I'm 20. Oh God.
No, you're still young. Once you hit 21, it's downhill, man.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do it to yourself. Trust me.
God.
That's what happens to all
I
of
would
us.
honestly say, for what I have played, the amount of fun I've had, an 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you even mentioned a lot of things they could improve. So that's.
But at the same time, just like meeting with people and the community, but just exploring, like the fact that I'm like I'm so excited to. The map's so colorful and it shows you all these landmarks, and I'm like, I want to go there and there and there. Like, I'm the kind of person that really likes that just really enjoys that. I know that a lot of
Thanks,
awesome,
Dad.
Yeah, that's other
to
dad.
the other dad. Yeah.
So many.
Not pseudo dad, but
yeah.
Thanks for giving me a shout out.
No, I'm like it's super excited to play more. I'm gonna have to hold back because I need to play Red Dead with you guys, and I need to start. Oh God.
I wonder if
so
the
many
score
games.
will change after Red Dead.
Yeah,
right?
I'd actually
like
be
maybe
interested too.
Maybe it will.
I think I'm gonna play this game for a while. I really hope the community gets bigger, and I really hope Bethesda like keeps pushing, because like No Man's Sky, I would say had I could not stand No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
I have played Fallout 76 for 24 hours, and I'm excited to play another 24.
But I think if we're gonna compare Fallout 76 to No Man's Sky, right? If we're going to do that direct comparison, I think you have to consider the companies that developed it. And when you compare what is it, Hello Games? Is that right?
Yeah.
What Hello Games
Very small
did
studio.
before they made No Man's Sky, it's basically Excitebike,
Yeah.
right? And then they made No Man's Sky. So
then now
for them
it's like-
personally, that is groundbreaking, right?
Yeah.
So now you're looking at Bethesda, who made Fallout 4, kick-ass narrative, everybody loved it, badass review, and then they made Fallout 76, which I can't help, being the Fallout fan that I am, I can't help but feel like it's a little bit of a step the other direction, right? Where I think that the fault of Hello Games was being overly ambitious, and the fault of Bethesda is being a little underwhelming. Right?
That makes a lot of sense.
It's two totally other opposite ends of the
But
spectrum.
I just mean like playing them in general. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
if you put them together without any history around any of it.
Yeah. But that is actually a really good point. But I really hope that Bethesda they just keep going. How many buttons is there to push? You're not gonna. There's too many.
There's way too many,
Yeah.
Dad. There's way too many.
Handsome Jack is already
Real
taken
dad.
by a dictator.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad
That's-
cast. Yeah.
That's my dad can't handle more than like 2 buttons.
God.
Yeah.
How does he?
3 buttons maybe. He gets confused when he has to move his thumb from one to the other. His favorite is Race the Sun
Yeah.
because it's just
Oh.
move the stick.
And you
There's
hit
no
X.
other button.
Or do you
you can
jump?
hit X to jump
Yeah.
but that's it, right? And so, which
Okay.
I have to say, if you're still listening, Dad, like legitimately my dad, that is so fun to drink a beer and play Race the Sun with you. Anytime. We will pop all the quarters we can all day long into that game. That's what it feels like every time.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm sitting down with my dad on the couch and we've just got this roll of quarters and we're just going to waste money on Dying Light or on Race the Sun.
Yeah. Dying Light would be. Oh, that'd be terrifying.
My dad couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
He would freak out.
I like Fallout 76. I can see why people don't. I love this game and I'm excited to play more.
An 8 is a solid score.
Yeah.
So I'm actually a little bit surprised that you gave it that high of a score.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold out.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold out a little while
Wait.
because I'm going to keep playing Red Dead. Should I touch on Red Dead Online? Because I did get all...
Touch a little bit. Yeah.
Just real quick. I
Real quick.
don't want to dive into it because I've only played 4 to 5 hours of the Red Dead Online so far. I got the Ultimate Edition, so I got the exclusive day 1 beta trial with it. The biggest compliment I can give it is single player, but broadened so far.
That's good.
Nothing has been left out aside from maybe a little similarity to Fallout is that there aren't as many NPCs, but there's still NPCs to meet to facilitate a mission that will like unfold a story for your character. Like
Yeah.
there's still a story, right?
Yeah.
But it's not like every person you go up to you can interact with. But really, other than that, I haven't really noticed any difference. One difference is the day and night cycle seems to be a little slower, which is something I complained about. So I like that about it. But I'm going to play more right after this. I'm going to play more.
I'm going to watch you for a bit. It'll be cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I do want to make the announcement that coming up is going to be our best of 2018s. We're going to do that, and we might take a week off. Here and there because it's the
hard.
holidays. It's crazy. We're all doing lots of things. But if we miss
Winter
a week,
quarter ends
don't
soon,
hate us.
and I'm just going to play. I'm going to play so much games.
Yeah.
It's research for the podcast. Yeah.
And I don't even want to review this. I'm just going to drink it. So sign us off, Jack. Tell everybody thank you.
Yeah,
and then
thank
sign
you
us off.
guys. Wow, this chat has been awesome. I appreciate this. You guys all had some really cool things to say, and I appreciate everyone. I appreciate Dad. Appreciate Slade.
Sign us out, Jack.
What are you doing? Well, I guess to all the nerds. Oh my God, sign us out.
Do it then.
You have to click off the.
Do it. Make that
No.
go away.
You click onto the OBS link. Oh, or just X out of the window.
We're rolling.
Oh my God.
No. Hey, there we go.
Oh
I
my-
just wanted to totally facilitate the roll, and I think I did because I.
You have to turn the light on too.
What did I? Oh.
Yeah.
I
I get
messed
some
it
better
up
lighting.
as bad as you do
God.
normally.
Even
it's
worse.
It's like facilitating the roll.
Well, oh, they can't even hear you.
They can't. Well, they can hear me. Trust me, I'm loud enough. I've
He
had
says
enough
he messed up as much as I didn't want to. Okay, point is, to all the nerds, through all the fuzz,
Bottoms up.
let's get nerd buzzed.
Talking about beer. Talking about nerd
No, I hate me too. Don't worry.
You're
Talking
on
about
Nerd
culture,
Buzz.
you're on nerd buzz. Oh, yeah. You hit the shout.
Marcus and Jeremiah.
Nope.
You're on Nerd Buzz.
What? You were there. This is ridiculous. Bye, everyone.
Let's get
Been
Nerd
a good
Buzz.
time.
Thank you.